Nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game.
Boom! 42!
You're going down, Doug!
Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down.
Hey!
Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the highlight of my morning. Hey, what's up? It's Island.
And I'm Josh.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit is that it's our go-to morning comfort.
You've got that nice golden fluffy egg.
With a soft, flaky biscuit.
Crispy bacon.
Melty cheese.
You want something quick, you want something convenient, but most of all, you want something good.
There's no better way to start your morning.
There we go.
Start off the morning with a Chick-fil-A Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit with Simply Orange Juice. Order on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. There are no major incidents at this time, but there is construction on I-135 northbound at Kellogg West. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey, Wichita traffic.
Weather.
Good morning. It's a mostly cloudy start to the day. We may even see a sprinkle, especially north of Wichita. Then partly cloudy this afternoon. North winds 10 to 15 and a high of 63. Partly cloudy and chilly overnight. 43 should do it for the low. Back over to a mix of sun and clouds Wednesday, high 66. Mostly cloudy and 65 on Thursday with a chance of rain. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Swing into the jungle with Jim Rome. Afternoons from 2 until 5. Right here on Wichita's most listened to sports radio. 97.5 and 1240 KFH. Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita. KNSS HD2 Clearwater, an Odyssey sports station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albron. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. If Boston Red Sox ownership thinks that whacking manager Alex Cora and his staff is going to jumpstart their season, they are begging. The Red Sox are garbage on the field, and they're even worse off it, and Cora was not the problem. Nor is firing him going to fix anything, and ownership is lying to itself if it thinks it will. Then again, when was the last time this organization did the right thing? From best owner the franchise has ever had to the worst. Congrats, John Henry. That's not easy to do. And that's not just me popping off. Go ask any of your players how they feel about the move. Oh, that's right. You don't care. Because when you and your henchmen dropped that bomb on them, they weren't allowed to even ask any questions. Nice transparency. Way to shoot your guys straight. And by that, I mean stab them right in the back. Hey, John, you're no longer in it to win it, so sell the team to somebody who is. Your fans and your players deserve a hell of a lot better than you. I'm Jim Rome. And remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. Jim Rome here. True story. I married the best person I've ever met, Janet, and we've been married a long time. And the one thing that she loves above all else, I kid you not, pictures. She's constantly taking pictures of everybody and everything. Can't get enough of them. So I found the best gift ever, Aura Frames. Save on gifts that moms love at auraframes.com. For a limited time, get $25 off the Carver mat frame with code ROME. Support the show by mentioning the Jim Rome Show at checkout. Terms and conditions do apply. That's code ROME at auraframes.com.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
A lone starship hurtles across a trackless void, a single human spark bulleting beyond the barriers of space and time. Yes, radio listeners, set your imagination for the year 2000. It's time to blast off into the incredible with
Wichita's most listened to sports radio. 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
I don't know what that is, man. Hey, cuckoo, baby, don't tell me. Huh? Talk down to me. Now get out of here or I'll have my legs broken.
All right, welcome in, everybody. It is Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, Paul Savage, Max Power, putting those intros together for you, having a little fun. Kicking it old school in old school radio intros. Love it. Thanks for being here with us. 869-1240 is the number you can call on KFH. You can reach us lots of different ways. We've got video streams for you. You can comment there, Facebook, YouTube, X. Thanks for watching us on 12 News Connected, as always. Thanks for listening to us on the Odyssey app as well, where you can leave us voice messages, even if you are listening to us from the future. Maybe you're catching one of the podcasts of the show. It goes out. We appreciate you no matter how you take us in. Thanks for being here with us. We're going to talk a lot today about college athletics in a variety of different, lanes here. Big stories yesterday that kind of started developing after we left the air. One involves gambling and Texas Tech's quarterback and their chances to get back to the CFP now are a little bit in question, Paul. So we'll talk about it. Brendan Sorsby in the news yesterday quite a bit. We also have some major potential changes coming in eligibility for college athletics. Now, we've been talking about this for a few weeks, TJ and I don't think I've caught Paul's opinion on it, but we get movement toward it. The 5 years of eligibility thing that's been out there floating around feels like it has legs moving forward. What are the implications of that? What are the implications for outgoing seniors here? We get some answers yesterday, so we'll look into all of that as well. We've got the Royals back in action tonight out on the West Coast. Looking forward to them trying to keep the momentum going and get this season turned around. All of it is What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring Caddy Snack, Wichita's golf beer. Caddy Snack Blonde Ale, refreshingly crushable, makes the perfect pairing from the first tee to the 19th hole, no matter the score. Caddy Snack reminds you to beer the ball. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. Paul Savage, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How you doing, big boy? Some interesting stories. I really like some of your thoughts on these stories, and I think it's fascinating. And what we're on the cusp of are major changes. Major changes in the world of sports. Everything is changing, and it's just amazing how we sit back and look how college sports in particular have changed. Because, man, I'm not so sure we'll recognize college sports 10 years from now, but Jacob, would that be a fair statement?
Oh, 10 years for sure. I mean, we're in how many years of this? How many years of this craziness?
It's been about 4. It's been about, and the reason I say that is because when I timed this with the fact when a couple of our kids at East got offers to Kansas State, and they were offered like in the $250,000 to $300,000 range, and now that's not even what that's not even a down payment on what kids are getting nowadays.
But so here's the thing for me. We all kind of knew what was going to happen with NIL. That part of it, I don't think is what's making it crazy. I think the transfer portal is making it crazy. We've said forever, the NIL component of this, like over time, like the amounts of money players make are largely going to be dictated by what somebody's going to be willing to pay them. Now, there are going to be repercussions. There are going to be changes. They've put in salary caps, or they've tried to, which is an interesting concept. But, so they're kind of chiseling away at some progress there. To me, Paul, the thing that has made this so crazy and kind of the unforeseen consequence of NIL and all the legal challenges is the transfer portal. That's what's made players changing teams every year, players playing for 6 or 7 years. Like, that's where we've gotten to the point where a lot of people, I don't think, recognize it. At the end of the day, when we're watching a football game, I mean, how much somebody makes is about as relevant as when I'm enjoying a pro game.
No,
right?
it's not. Are you crazy? Are you nuts? Of
You're
course,
you're
it's
sitting there
relevant.
watching a K-State Baylor game, and all you're thinking about is how much money somebody makes.
I'm sitting there wondering. I'll guarantee you. I wonder. Maybe it's just me. Max, do you ever wonder about this money stuff? I want your expert opinion. Do you think about the money these guys are making while you watch?
No.
Oh, that shot that down pretty quick, didn't it, Jacob?
I watch a Wichita State basketball game, and I watch Kenyon Giles shoot 8 threes, and nowhere during that process of enjoying that basketball game am I thinking, boy, I wonder what his NIL deal was.
Could I be so wrong? Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not going to be naive and say, of course it's on people's minds. I'm just saying it doesn't take away from the experience. To me, what takes away, though, is the transfer portal. And it does. And look, whether or not the transfer portal should be allowed is legal is probably a different conversation of whether we like it. I don't think anybody likes it. I don't like it. Not
Players
the way
like
it's
it.
turned into.
Well,
but
the
it's
players
not,
like it.
the transfer idea had started to get legs even before we saw these changes. You remember how many times Wichita State's a great example. We saw massive turnover on shocker rosters for
Sure
years.
did. Yeah.
Austin Reeves, that was kind of the area where you saw it start. There were
That's
teams
correct.
there where they
I buy
lost just
that.
about every player.
Yeah.
So now it's just become like that sort of thing everywhere for every sport all the time, especially in college basketball.
Right.
And so, okay, nobody likes that. Coaches don't like it. Fans don't like it. Schools don't like it.
Players love it.
Even like free market people like me, I don't like the investment in the resources being poured into a player only to have that player just leave. It's the same thing drives me crazy about a coach, right? It drives me nuts when we hold the players to different standards as we hold coaches to.
Well, Jacob, once again, you're missing the point. Those are grown men and women.
What age, Paul, can you go serve in the military?
Well, that would be 18.
That's exactly right. We're adults at 18.
Yeah.
I do not care if Bill Self is 60 years old or 18 years old. Makes no difference.
Coaches at the Division I level in football and basketball were doing fine in the payroll salary department for a long time.
Right, but they hold schools, ransom and leave at a moment's whim anytime they want. There's buyouts and there's all these things, but whatever.
Right. They don't just leave on a whim. There will be consequences for many of these coaches unless
not for the coach, not for the coaches, for the schools, yes, not for the coaches. Don't face what consequence has a coach ever faced for moving up the coaching ladder?
Yeah, I got you. No,
they're not paying the buyout. Like somebody else is paying the buyout.
I see what you're saying.
And it's fine. Like if that's the way business is done. And so now we've seen that kind of happen with players and we don't like it. I don't like it, by the way. Like I don't like this transfer portal thing either. This new rule doesn't necessarily address all of the transfer portal issues directly, but it does address some of them where we've had long eligibilities extended because being in the transfer portal is so lucrative. So we'll go through on the other side here.
All right.
What is being proposed? TJ and I sort of disagree on this.
Right.
I think the spirit of it, everybody can say, okay, step in the right direction. But we'll go through
I apologize. I think I got us off the track where we were headed. But, we just got to get this right. This is too important.
It is. We do. I agree. Because at the end,
this right.
Like the end game here is going to be significantly better than what we've ever had.
Oh, boy.
But you got to get there. And it's complicated because there's lawyers involved and you know how that goes. All right. We're going to come back and we'll talk about it. What was said yesterday and what could be on the horizon? That's next on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app. Brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83-1001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Longhoffer Lawn and Tree Care celebrating 60 years in Wichita, providing expert lawn care for a healthy lawn, tree and shrub care, and bedweed control since 1966. Longhoffer Lawn and Tree Care. Welcome back into Sports Daily, everybody. Jacob Albrock, Paul Savage with you here on the air, taking your comments, commentary. You can call in 869-1240, Facebook, YouTube, X. You can leave us your video comments as we make our way through a pretty big story yesterday. We're just getting maybe some clarity on a pretty big story that's been around for a little while. So Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, yesterday saying and basically moving forward with this eligibility stuff, Paul. He's confident, he says, that the rules that have been thrown out there the last few weeks, I guess it's been about 5 years, that is probably going to happen. They're optimistic. The NCAA put a statement out about it, saying the time is now to reform the period of eligibility rules to provide Division I student athletes in our schools clear and consistent standards that align with current college athletes' experiences. So the main thing in the short term that got answered to yesterday, the new rule proposal is basically this: 5 years from the time you are, I guess, turn 19 or graduate high school, whichever comes first, you've got 5 years of eligibility. 5 years to play. That's it. So that is an extra year, but it also, what I think the goal is here is you eliminate the 26, 27-year-old, 7-8 year starter with all these different ways that, the system has been changed, and we had the COVID year, we had all of that. It's 5 years, you get 5, you're done in 5. So, okay. You get an extra year. Are you okay with it being 5 and not 4? I think that's one question we got to answer. And then the big questions for me come, Paul, in, well, are we still going to have waivers on this thing? Because there are reasons I don't like that. Now, the injury part, I don't know if they're getting waivers anymore for injuries, right? You blow out your knee twice. Sorry. That doesn't do anything. The one that gets me, you've got your service academy exemptions that you'll have to really, really consider. You've got religious exemptions that you'll have to really consider. And then for me, you've got hardships that you've got to consider. Kid has to go home because something horrible's happened in his life, some hardship that he must go take care of his family or something. Those are all factors to consider. And I'll need to see that those kinds of waivers could still be granted. I don't think the medical red shirt thing is going to be a thing much anymore, Paul. I will say this because I don't love this. I think this is making a change to something that doesn't need to be changed. I think there are some instances of the system of eligibility being taken advantage of, but not enough for a holistic change. But we'll see if they put in the correct guardrails. Okay, like I could maybe get on board with it, but I don't want to see a kid who's never played because of some unforeseen circumstance not have the chance to play because they're now 24 years old or whatever it might be.
Right.
But we'll get there and see those details. The big piece of news and information that came yesterday is that the outgoing seniors would not be included in this. Now, you have to imagine, the players that are incoming to play their 4th years next year are going to have a huge financial advantage over the players that just finished. Like you can define it however you want. So an incoming senior next year gets another year of eligibility in this, in theory, whereas the outgoing right now do not. That's a huge financial kick in the pants, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right.
Guys like Kenyon Giles and Crom Boyd, soccer fans, become the poster children for this. Like, wait, this rule's changing? Can we come back? And there had been some question of like, could these guys come back? Real question. Like that was really a thing. It appears now that they won't be able to. And so that answers that question. And it kind of sucks for those guys. But at some point, Paul, like if you're going to make a change like this, you do have to rip the Band-Aid off. It has to start somewhere, doesn't it? Like you can't because if you allowed it for the seniors that are going out this year, then the seniors that went out last year will be like, whoa, what about us? Hey, hang on a minute here.
Right.
Get that. So you have to kind of just draw your line somewhere, and it appears that's where they'll draw it. That's the bigger part of the news that's been coming out in the last 24 hours. But they did put out a statement, Paul, and the NCAA president thinks this is going to happen.
I like it. I really do like it. I like the 5-year deal. You know why I like the 5-year deal? We're going to see more and more kids graduate. I think that's exciting. I think if that 5th year brings along a bunch of kids, by the time they finish up their 5th year of eligibility in whatever sport it is, they'll probably graduate. I mean, just to stay eligible, you're going to be knocking on the door of graduation. And I think we're going to see graduation rates explode. And I wouldn't be surprised that at certain schools, you're starting to run 95% of all athletes who have 5 years of eligibility graduate. And after all, Jacob, isn't that kind of what we're talking about? Isn't that kind of why they're there? Of course, we know the answer is no. That's not why they're there, Savage. Are you an idiot? Well, yeah, sometimes I can be. But the point is that 5 years, and I would have to think that there's going to be a good number of these kids who go, well, geez, if I'm going to be there for 5 years, why not get a diploma? I'm there. Why not do it? And that's what I like about it, because we all know there are kids, and there's a lot of kids.
Now this says, so 2 big parts of this, and I should have said this right out of the gates. 4 seasons of competition in 5 years of eligibility. So I don't know. This is all still just a little bit confusing. Okay, so I don't know if we're giving like a super senior season here, or if we're just saying you get one like medical red shirt, for instance, or just red shirt season still, and you can only play 4 of the seasons in 5 years. This is where this all gets really confusing and I think difficult. And look, there are going to be challenges that come out. But if I tell you that the NCAA board is saying here's what they said. There are 2 key elements to be included. One is kind of what you're talking about, that they will include degree completion even after eligibility expires if they hadn't earned a degree yet. We've seen that before. Players will go back and finish their degrees. They get 10 years to do that, I think, with scholarship rules in Division I. And then the other one is it just says maintain existing rules, allowing 4 seasons of competition in 5 years of eligibility for student athletes competing in this year. New rules not expected to retroactively apply to student athletes whose eligibility is or will be completed by the spring of 2026. Those are the seniors we're talking about. But then in the beginning, here's what they say. Under the new model, let me just read you the opening statement because it is confusing as you read it. As after a robust discussion, the Division I Board of Directors on Monday directed the Division I Cabinet to advance an age-based eligibility concept that, if adopted in its current form, would permit student athletes up to 5 years of eligibility beginning the regular academic year after they turn 19 or graduate from high school, whichever happens earlier. Under that model, Division I student athletes would no longer be limited to only 4 seasons of competition within their 5-year eligibility window. Okay, so you've got kind of this 2-pronged thing happening. So they're telling you there, you don't just have 4 in the 5, you have 5 in the 5, but then later they're saying you only get 4 in the 5 for the players that are leaving. It's all very confusing.
That's for the
but
players.
What they're trying to do, Paul, is cut down on players that end up with an 8th year of eligibility and
Right.
You've got 26-year-old professionals playing college quarterback and all of these things. And I just, as long as you can get me the waiver process for kids that have real legitimate, I don't think injury is going to be this either, but I'm talking about a kids whose parents die and they got to go take care of their brothers and sisters.
Well, they can
Those
get
kinds
these
of things
waived,
happen.
Yeah,
And
those things
you have to have a way that they're not punished for that. The religious exemption is going to have to be a part of this. And then you've got service academy stuff that you've got to consider as well. So and I hope that they do. But I will say this, because I do think this is maybe attacking the problem in the wrong way. But okay, I'm willing to give it a shot. I will say this. It helps. It helps point us in the right direction on the transfer portal, I think.
Right.
Because now, if they can combine this with, let's call it one free transfer, Paul, right? You get one free transfer. The second time you transfer, you have to sit out a year. You're not telling them they can't transfer.
Right.
You're telling them that second transfer loses a year of your eligibility. Now, you're looking at that from a cost perspective. If you're a potential athlete going into a portal and saying, boy, let's say you jumped from South Dakota State to Wichita State, okay, after your freshman or sophomore year. So you jump from South Dakota State to Wichita State and you come in, you have a great year for Wichita State. That's been a ripe scenario for somebody to then jump to Duke.
It has.
Right? So
That's right.
let's say that is the scenario. Okay. And you go into it, and now you have this 5 year of eligibility thing. Okay. So you've got 5 years to earn money, basically. It's going to be higher at Duke, but now you got to sit out a year and you lose one of those years of eligibility. You won't make anything.
Mm-hmm.
Is that worth it at that point to transfer? Or is it worth it to stick around?
Yeah.
That's where I think this could crack the door open to maybe some portal happenings. Because right now, here's my other problem with it, Paul. It doesn't solve the biggest issue. The biggest issue is the transfer portal. That is the biggest issue. It's not even that a player might have picked up a 7th year of eligibility. That holistically, that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem right now that people can't stand is the transfer portal. And if you give them 5 years of eligibility, but they can still jump around and transfer as much as they want, nothing's been solved.
Right. And
now we just put on a bunch of unnecessary rules and nothing really changed. So if you can't use this to help fix the portal, we didn't accomplish anything here.
Right. Now I'm going to be truthful. I thought we're talking about 5 years of eligibility. Everything I've read.
I think we are, except for the players going out.
Maybe so. But all I know is that article after article says 5th year of eligibility. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm not that smart, but I
think you're right. Under the, it says in the opening paragraph,
all the stories say that
Division I student athletes would no longer be limited to only 4 seasons of competition within their 5-year eligibility window. Okay.
But it also, yes.
But it also is trying to clarify that except for the outgoing players who have already played 4 years.
Well, if that's the case, they're doing a horrible job of clarifying. I can tell you that, because
it's hard. This is going to get challenged.
But I think overall, just that 5th year. And by the way, we all know this COVID thing, for extra years has been used and abused and taken advantage of in ways we never dreamed. Now, I can certainly see certain situations, Jacob, and you point out a few of them, such as a problem with the family, maybe, mom or dad has a health problem and they need to go home. And by golly, I think there needs to be these exceptions, and we'll know if these exceptions are abused. I can't imagine abusing a situation at a university in order to take advantage of mom or dad dying or something like that. I mean, I guess it could happen, but I would imagine it wouldn't. So there are some of those exceptions, the religious exception. There are schools, particularly Catholics, particularly Baptists, particularly Mormons. There are schools that specialize in people who go abroad, missionary. It's missionary work basically, and so I think that has to be a real exemption too, because even in my time at Baylor, I knew missionaries. There were people that would be there at 2 or 3 years older than a lot, still in the dorm, and yet they'd been on a year or two of missionary work, and there they are at Baylor University. So I know the Baptists are active. I know the Mormon. We all know about Mormons because that's almost a standard requirement that those kids go do a service for their religion and for the betterment of mankind. And we all get that. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that is legitimate. I'm not going to, and I know you probably wouldn't either. But with that being said, everything else I like. 5 to play 5. You want to play 5, play 5. When do you start? Start now. Sorry, son. You're a year ahead of your time. You should have waited a year.
It's just like that's going to, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry about your luck.
Sorry, you were born just a little bit too early. That's
one other part of this real quick, Paul, is there are also some things about transferring and tampering enforcement in here. Not I think what we want, but they're looking to, I think, intensify, although proof will be needed, intensify the punishment for tampering. So it basically is changing it. Schools suspected of tampering prior to their entry into the transfer portal would need to demonstrate that the violation did not occur to avoid penalties.
Oh, so you got to prove yourself innocent instead of guilty. Huh?
Correct. And that was at the request of, I believe, the Big Ten Conference.
Wow.
So that's interesting.
Well, that's a little crazy, isn't it?
But if it helps avoid the tampering, it's one of those things where like, okay, they're trying here. They're trying. And then there's something that I don't really understand either about the rules for the notification to transfer process, which would allow schools to decline to enter a student athlete into the portal only if the athlete agreed to release the school from that requirement as a part of a valid settlement-related benefits agreement with the school for the period of the agreement. So I think this gets into, and we've all had this question. Kid comes in, signs NIL deal, transfers right away, does all this. What's the school on the hook for in what they agreed to? How are those payments divvied out? Is it a lump sum? Is it over a period of time? We've always said, put them under a contract. If they break the violation of the contract, they don't get paid their entire contract, just like the rest of us. We've always thought that was the right way to go.
You signed a scholarship agreement. Do you know what that is? You know what that is, Jacob? You know what that is? That's a contract. That's a contract.
Well, it is, but there are other parts of a contract that matter. But so there's also some, it looks like relief for schools, I think, in that regard too. This is all interesting. And Rick points out none of it will work because they're going to get sued. I agree. This is going to come from lawsuits. Now they can set this framework in, and then lawmakers are going to have to step in and change the laws because Rick is correct. There will be legal challenges to this, but the NCAA does make rules that you must abide by. I mean, they're an enforcement body of NCAA competitions, so they can set the rules for their own competitions. We'll come back. We got more. It's Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Busy.
This is Sports Daily on KFH.
All right, welcome back in. Glad to have you here with us on Sports Daily. You want to win some free HTO? You can do that right now. Text us to win. The keyword is T. The short code is 20357. Text that word to that number, and you can win a free cup of tea on us here at Sports Daily. These will be good for East Wichita, West Wichita, or in Derby. More than 20 flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea to choose from. All kinds of other drinks in there as well. Get in there and check it out and get a free tea on us here from HTO, East Wichita, West Wichita, and Derby. Good luck, everybody. We come back, Paul. We'll get to the Brendan Sorsby story in the next hour in our long segment.
Okay.
Let's switch gears to baseball here a little bit. The Royals back in action tonight. You know, we're looking at it, and it's pretty wild what still is out there in front of Kansas City, despite the fact that they're 6 games under 500 toward the end of April here. They're 3.5 games back of both Cleveland and Detroit. Isn't that crazy? Just 3.5 games, despite being 6 games under 500, despite being about tied for the worst record in the American League. I mean, it's wild. Cleveland lost, so they're now 3.5 games back of Detroit, 3 games back of Cleveland. All of that said, it's all right there for them, Paul. Last week, the offense has been such a challenge. They averaged 7.5 runs a game last week, all of a sudden. Now, they've got to be able to take this on the road. They've got to be able to do all this, but it's hard. We've talked about it a few times now, what you probably need to do to make that up historically to get to the kinds of win totals that you need to hit, and that's going to be a challenge. But if you just simplify it and say, start the season over today, you're 3.5 games back at Detroit. Like, okay, like that's not that big a deal, right? So I think for Royals fans, for all that's gone wrong to start it, this is pretty much a best case scenario
You think?
of what's happened around them, because they could easily be sitting there with that kind of record and just like Boston's a game better, a half game better than Kansas City. They're 7 games back right now. Right.
Yeah.
You look at Philadelphia and the Mets, who have been off to also really bad starts, each 10.5 games back. The Giants, who were a team with high expectations, they're only 2 games under 500, right? They're 6.5 games back. So the Royals have sat here and played poorly and been very, like, to be perfectly honest, very, very fortunate that things have gone the way they have around them, because it's all right there. And if they're playing the way that they played last week, and I told you they got to make up 3.5 games, you're like, okay, yeah, they probably do that. They're smashing the ball. Now they got to take it on the road. They got to take it out west. They're going to face a bunch of good pitching in this 6 games. And next week, Paul, 7 games against those 2 teams you're chasing. Like, it's right there for them.
Take them, make a move. Hey, and by the way, let's put this in perspective. And the American League East, if the Royals were in the American League East, they'd be 8 games back right this moment, this very moment. Yankees are 19-10. Royals are 11-17. That's 8 games, 8 games behind in the American League East. So be lucky you're in the Central. You're 3.5 games back, and it's doable. I mean, I'm not even sure at this point we're talking about winning a wild card. We're talking about maybe winning the Central. How about that? American League Central. Possible? Very possible.
Absolutely.
Play like you did the last week against the Angels, and you're going to win more games than you lose. How many games that is, now that's another question. But that 7, 8, what I think you said yesterday, and you can correct me, but I think you said that if you can get within 8 games over 500, you're there. And so I think that's what you said. Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what you said. Doable, very doable. If they play the way they were playing when they were playing the Angels. So we'll see what happens. But obviously, we're all going to pay attention to this particular series. The Athletics are good. They're 15-13. That's the 3rd best record in the American League.
Well, and they're probably a little bit early on that, but they got a lot of. That's what happens, right? You get these teams that have really struggled. They trade all these good players. They get all these young players. A few of them hit, and all of a sudden you look at their roster and be like, man, they got 4 or 5 really good players on that team.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
So yeah, they're not bad at all. I just watched them play the Rangers. They're not a bad team. They're going to have a pretty good squad roll into Las Vegas when the time comes. And it's been really interesting. It was a hitter's park there last year, and this year it's kind of played. And I don't know why. I think it's just circumstance. I think over time it probably will play as a hitter's park, but it's been a little more pitcher friendly. The Royals, Paul, again, like some of this is repeatable for sure information, but they've got some real problems. Let me say it this way. The problems the Royals face on offense feel more solvable than some of the challenges they may face in the pitching staff. The bullpen's not really solvable right now, right? I don't think it is. You feel okay about Ursig in the back. His stuff at least looks there, even if his control has been a little waning, and you feel really good about Daniel Lynch, and that's probably it. I don't feel good about anybody else back there. Starting pitching, I've said it from the beginning of the year, and I hope I'm wrong about it. It just feels to me like they've been at the absolute ceiling the last 2 years with how good the starting pitching can be, and they're just due for that to come down a little bit. Now, I think they'll still be really good, but I don't know if they can be as elite as they've been the last 2 years. The area where the Royals feel like they had the most meat on the bone to get better than what they were doing is the offense. And they did that last week. But when you start, and I know Maikel Garcia has been hurt, and we'll see if he's back in the lineup tonight. I suspect he will be. But you've got all-stars or potential all-stars, at 4 of them in the lineup: Garcia, Witt, Pasquantino, and Salvi, all-star caliber players, right? Then you've got 2 young guys that everybody loves, Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione. There's 6 of your 9, Paul. And so, like, you look at the way they were performing before last week, and it's the same story as last year, and you just shake your head at it, and you're like, how is this offense not better? Well, we saw him finally hit for a little power last week, and I don't know what the change was. I don't know if it's the law of averages. Obviously, it's more than just unlucky, because they, go back to the back half of 2024, then through 25 and into 26, and it's been an underperforming offense. But still, I think if we're being realistic about looking at it and saying, boy, where could they be better than they've played in April? It's the offense. I don't think their bullpen can be much better. They don't have the arms right now with the Estevez down and Schreiber not able to get anybody out. The starting pitching, it's been like as good as it can be for 2.5 years, 3 years. Like, it's not like that's a tough thing to match. So it's the offense, and we'll see. That's why it was nice to see him for a week straight. They had 5 runs in every game they played, Paul, last week, and they averaged 7.5 runs a game. That's the kind of offense I think we look at the roster on paper and say, okay, that's what this is capable of. They can be one of the top offenses in baseball, but man, has it escaped them for a while now.
Well, and I think you're on to something there. And of course, baseball's that funny thing. We talk about baseball differently than we do football or basketball or any other sport, because the curves are big. It's like a battleship. You change the course of a battleship. Well, they say it takes like 20 miles before you can turn it around. Baseball's the same way, it seems like. The curve is always longer, but the curve is there. The curve is kind of getting to be seen and noticed. And maybe this curve's a little faster than some curves have been, but it's very interesting. Everything you say is right. And by the way, those 4 all-stars that you're talking about, you can build a franchise around them, can't you? I think you can. And we've seen what's that? We've seen, and we've seen Vinny almost like wake up, haven't we? And it's been kind of a fun thing to watch. But I mean, on the upside now, really and truly, I think you're getting some play for the Royals. I think people are waking up. Now, they can't go out and lay a big egg with the A's. Can't do that. You got to be competitive. You've got to win a few of those games. We'd love to see 2 of the 3 games being played won. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll see. And but this is one of those series. We'll think about this series, but we'll think about the Angels series, and then we'll think about the A series that came right after this series, sometime in the month of August, won't we? That we'll be thinking about these.
Well, here's what I'll be thinking about with it, Paul. Can they hold court this week?
Good question.
I don't, 3-3 doesn't feel like a massive achievement, and who knows what Detroit and Cleveland during that time, because you could go 3-3, Detroit rattles them off, and now all of a sudden you're 5.5 games back.
Well, that's
so
possible.
You'd like to see him do more than hold serve, but you're going on the road for a week in the West Coast, and of course we're going to look ahead to what's lying next week at home with 7 straight games against Cleveland and Detroit. What they can't do. Like, this has to be the moment they turn it around. Like the series against the Angels, that sweep, has to be the moment for this team that everything turned around this season. Or I'm afraid it will get too late, because then you have to be realistic with it. And while, yes, if you start the season over today and you're only 3.5 games and all those things sound good, you're 6 games under 500. Now the struggle to get to the record that typically puts teams into the postseason is daunting, very, very large. It's looming very, very large. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So that had to be the moment. The Angels series had to be the moment where they start to play better baseball. 3-3, got to do it. 4-2, now we're talking. Maybe you win both of these series. Like, that's what they're going to have to start doing very consistently if they want to put together, I think, the body of work that it's going to take now to overcome such a bad start. 11-17. We're not talking about a bad week here, Paul. We're talking about a bad month of baseball that the Royals have played. The best they can do this month is be 4 games under 500. So let's see what they do tonight. It's late baseball. You ready to get your Prairie Fire coffee? Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee, Paul. We're going to need it the next few
by
days.
the way. Yeah, here you go, right there, baby.
Because first pitches here are late baseball. It's going to be real late for us here, and we'll see. It'll be the challenge. It'll be the great challenge. Can the two old guys, one much older than the other, I should say, stay up late enough to finish these Royals games?
My problem is we got to be up too darn early to do this radio.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be Bubich, Waka, Noah Cameron in the first 3 against the A's. First pitch tonight at 8:40, Paul. Boy, you're going to have to watch from bed. That's about bedtime for Mr. Savage.
Thank you for that.
You're going to have to, that's asking a lot. We're going to see if we can do it. We'll come back in the next hour. We'll talk this Brendan Sorsby story. This is interesting now. We'll get into it on the other side.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Please hang on. Please. This is an official interruption of your local entertainment transmission.
Stand by for action.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Eunice, meanus, usness, weenus, yourness, minus, ourness, happiness. And now I'd like to hear where your head is at.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to another hour of Sports Daily. It is Max Power bringing you all of those intros the last little while. Should be a lot of interesting things coming out of that from Mr. Max Power. You can give him a call and talk to us. 869-1240 is the number to call. Jacob Albrock, Paul Savage with you here. Another hour of Sports Daily. You can comment to us on your video streams if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube or X. You can also watch us on 12 News Connected. You can also listen to us on the Odyssey app. We have it all coming for you. We will get into this Brendan Sorsby case and story here in this hour of Sports Daily. It is a troubling one, to say the least. It is a very, very fascinating one when you talk about what the Big 12 could look like next year. We'll get into all of that, the ramifications of it, and not ironically, I can tell you, Paul, how the odds in the Big 12 have changed as Brendan Sorsby has now checked himself into a facility for gambling. And I don't mean that as far as bets, but just it's always given us a perspective on what the predictions are. But, it's not lost on me that we're doing that in the aftermath of a gambling story. So we'll have all that for you coming up this hour. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company. Delano, featuring live music this Sunday. You can find the details at wichitabrew.com. Send off your Sunday with live tunes, tasty treats, and good times at WBC Delano, your spot for spring Sundays. Visit www.wichitabrew.com for more info. Wichita Brewing Company, where groups gather. We come back in, Paul. We'll get into Sorsby in the next one in our long segment. You had your NBA playoffs last night, Paul. I told you I'd watch something.
Good.
And I did. I watched about 15 or 20 minutes after the Rangers and Yankees finished up. The damn Yankees won, by the way. I flipped over to Oklahoma City and Phoenix to watch the Thunder finish off the Suns. That series is a sweep. No surprise there. We're all just waiting, hopefully, for a Thunder Spurs. I say all. We're not all hoping for that, but I think casual basketball fans are. What I got to know, though, Paul, you're the NBA, and I don't know how much you've been watching the Eastern Conference. Are we looking at should we be looking at a big story here?
Yeah.
With Orlando and Detroit?
Yeah. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
I think you might be. And you might also be looking at the Magic and the Pistons. And
that's what I'm talking about. The Magic and the Pistons. Magic up 3-1, 8 versus 1.
Cade Cunningham still doing great. I mean, he's the player we all think he is. But I'll tell you what, it's an amazing thing. Orlando leads 3-1, Jacob. 3-1. Now they play these games for a reason, but that's a really high seed and a really low seed. And you've got Orlando leading 3-1. I mean, how does that happen? It happens in the NBA.
Don't ask me, Paul. I have no idea.
And I didn't watch any of the Thunder and the Suns. I'm done with that one. Of course, that series is now over. OKC wins that series 4-0. We all knew that was going to happen. Not a single game was that entertaining. I'll tell you what is entertaining: the talent on that team. That team is deep. That team is athletic. That team is long. I'm going to use all the superlatives that anybody on the radio or in the media would use to describe that team. And I'm not the first guy to use those superlatives. But that Thunder team is unbelievable. And, of course, last night, Nuggets beat the Timberwolves. And that was fun. You know, Jokic is something really special. And
we take him for granted. We do take him for granted.
Another triple-double. And it's just amazing. 27 points, 12 rebounds, and get this, 16 assists from a big guy. I mean, that's just amazing. That's just amazing to me, 16 assists. But the Nuggets are now up 3-2. I thought the Timberwolves had a chance of winning this series.
It's Anthony Edwards.
Early.
But Anthony Edwards is hurt. So does you think Denver comes back with Edwards out in the series?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a possibility. I really do. So we'll see. But we'll see. But obviously, last night, 113-125, game wasn't that close. Timberwolves made a run in the fourth quarter, scoring 38 points, their biggest quarter of the entire game. So we'll see what happens. But right now, I like being ahead, leading the series 3-2. And I like the Nuggets in this. And the Nuggets are the bigger story anyway. The Nuggets are the team you want to see advance. They're the better team between the two, in my opinion. So we'll just see what happens, okay, Jacob? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, we will. And tonight you've got 76ers, Celtics, Hawks, Knicks, and Trailblazers and Spurs. Your NBA playoff update with Paul Savage.
Well, there you go. And here's the thing. Whenever we're watching these things, it's the NBA. I mean, I'm not saying we got to give an entire hour or something to the NBA playoffs.
It's the playoffs. It's the playoffs. We're just honest. We're just honest on this show. If we're nothing else, we're honest.
I don't care to discuss that much NBA during the season.
I don't we're caught up in other things. We always try to be honest with people here.
That's right.
I think this has never been the show for the diehard NBA fans to get their NBA fix. We talk a lot of football. We talk a ton of college basketball.
Yeah, we do.
And this time of year, if the Royals are good, we're going to talk a lot of baseball. And we're going to talk a lot about these other stories off the field that are of interest to us. Most of the time, it's college stuff and this eligibility thing. Like we're here in the heart of a part of the country where KU, K-State, Wichita State, just about everybody that flips around and turns this on, one of those three is their team. Right? Just about everybody.
Right. Yeah. Can I just ask you a quick question? Because here's what's kind of been bothering me. The Oklahoma City Thunder, I think about the Thunder.
Right up the road.
When Westbrook and Harden were the big guns there for the Thunder.
And Durant.
That was pretty heady time. Let's face it. Those were good players on a team in Oklahoma City, and they were getting all kinds of play. People driving from Wichita. It was not uncommon to run into somebody.
They're as close to us as the Chiefs or Royals are.
That's right. And you drive down, go to the NBA, come home that night, you drive back. And I saw a lot of that. A lot of that. We talked about a lot of that on the radio, as a matter of fact, people making the trip. I don't hear that much about this particular team. And people, getting down to the –
And they won the championship.
That's right. But you still don't hear – maybe you do. Maybe you
I
go around.
I don't. I've always been curious about that. Like it's not like Kansas City proper is in Kansas. I mean, part of it is, but when you're talking about the Royals or the Chiefs over the years. Right. And so if Kansas City got an NBA team, I think people here would be fired up for it. There's a team just as close the other direction, Oklahoma City. Been here a long time.
And they're good.
I don't hear a lot of people fired up for Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, some people are. I think there is a small pocket, but it's not the same as the Royals or the Chiefs. And I've never really understood why. It's a different state. So is Missouri.
Well,
now that won't be the case anymore.
Kansas in the name, Jacob. Come on now.
That won't be the case anymore for the Chiefs, and I'm not from here, so I don't understand all these things. The teams that I loved and adored growing up, the Rangers, the Cowboys, Paul, are much further away from where I grew up than Oklahoma City is from Wichita.
Right.
And Dallas is a 5.5, 6 hour drive to get to Arlington from where I'm from in Texas.
Dude, it's a 2-day drive just to get down to the Gulf of Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think if like Kansas City got a basketball team, people would be all about it because they feel like Kansas City's, you feel like it's yours here. Whereas Oklahoma City, even though it's right there, it is right there. It's just as close.
Right.
But people they don't. And here's what the NBA does that I love a lot. You've got cities like San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Sacramento, cities that don't have
Portland?
Other pro teams. They're a little smaller.
Yeah.
But they get these franchises, and man, could you imagine how much fun it is in Oklahoma City right now with the Thunder?
Oh my gosh.
Or in San Antonio with the Spurs. I know how much fun it is in San Antonio with the Spurs because my 100-year-old great aunt fills me in.
All right.
She's a diehard Spurs fan down in San Antonio.
Yeah. You know what I like? What I like about the Thunders, they got the Loves logo. That
is a pretty perfect. That as sports logos go, Paul, and we see them now a lot in basketball and baseball. Right. The Oklahoma City Thunder wearing the Loves logo has to be the most fitting and perfect one, doesn't it?
I think that it is perfect because in the state of Kansas, there's Loves everywhere, and in Oklahoma as well. But I mean, they're everywhere. We got one up on 21st in the bypass, I-135. There's a Loves. We got Loves all over the place, and that logo on there says, you know something? You guys are my kind of guys.
That's a Midwest truck stop kind of. I'll
go to Loves.
I agree with you. I think of all the logos now in basketball and baseball that we see, Loves on the Oklahoma City Thunder is the best one.
Thank you for that.
Quick trip on the Royals is good too.
Not bad at all.
Make no mistake. As far as like fitting a vibe and fitting the theme a little bit, that's a good one. That's a good one too.
You're part of the people. That's what it says.
Well, so often we see those logos and we're like, what is that company? Like, what is that?
That's a good point.
You know exactly what it is when you see that Loves, that big heart. That's a fun one. We'll see. There's your NBA update, everybody. That's as good as we can get here on Sports Daily. All right, when we come back, let's talk about this Brendan Sorsby story. Boy, this is troubling, interesting, whatever word you want to use to describe it. It's all Brockton Savage. We'll discuss it next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Daily on KFH.
Welcome back in, everybody. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for supporting the program. We are getting into golf season. Great time to give Crestview Country Club a call. Go check out the facilities. 36 holes of golf, 2 state-of-the-art simulators. They've got golf instructors out there. Everything you need to get your game in order. Give Crestview a call. Go enjoy it. Enjoy all the facilities there. They have all kinds of different sorts of memberships, whether you're a golf enthusiast or not. Great place for the family. Our family's been out there for years. We love it. And we'd invite you to give them a call and see what they might have for you today. Paul Savage, have I ever asked you, are you a golfer? Were you ever a golfer?
I was a golfer, and as a matter of fact, I loved it so much. Built a house on a golf course at one time, lived there for many years. But when the kids came, I kind of just gave it up. It was one of those things where if I got 4 hours to go play golf, I got 4 hours to go be with the kid. I know that's crazy, but I did it that way.
I
anyway.
hear you. I hear you.
And the reason I did it was it gave me a good reason. I wasn't any good. I'm not that kind of athlete. I hated it.
Who's any good? I'm not any good either, but I love it. And
Yeah.
you do have to. I get you on the kid thing. It's like, a lot of people are like, you get older and your kids get older and then you can do it. But like for me, and this is what I really like about Crestview, by the way, and why it's been such a great fit.
By the way,
I can fit in those weird little spurts of playing while the kids are in school.
I want to say this about Crestview. This personally, this is just me. Nobody's telling me to do this. I'm not paid to do this or anything. But I've had several experiences at Crestview Country Club where I've been a part of a seminar. The place is taken over by somebody who's going to put on a seminar.
Lots of events and stuff there. Yeah.
Let me just tell you this right now. They treated the people that came into the Crestview Country Club to go to this particular seminar. They treated us like kings and queens. I mean, it was, the everything was clean, everything was sharp, everything was organized. It was an amazing event. And I hope you don't mind me saying that. And I know that's kind of boring and everything, but I want people to understand that Crestview is more than just a golf course, more than just a pool, more than just a tennis court. It is a place that is organized. It's perfect for a lot of events. Check into it. I mean, if I had an event that I needed something like that.
Yeah, they do events. Yep.
They do events.
It's a good point.
Is that okay? Did you mind me doing that?
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. They support the program. We like them. Yeah. Okay. So, Paul, let's get into this Brendan Sorsby story.
Oh, brother.
I would imagine most people have seen now what's gone on here.
Mm-hmm.
So Sorsby checked himself in yesterday to a residential treatment program for a gambling addiction. His decision to seek treatment, according to ESPN, came in the wake of a discovery that Sorsby had been making thousands of online bets on a variety of sports via a gambling app, which jeopardizes his eligibility at Texas Tech. Now, I think we've got to be very honest and, clear with the story here. The sorts of bets we're talking about, it sounds like, at least from what I've read on this, were in an instance of being at a pro baseball game, making $50-cent, $2-3 bets on balls and strikes or at bats or whatever. A lot of small wagers. Basically, and the reason I bring that up, a lot of what a lot of people do, especially a lot of 18-year-olds, we're not talking about high level, massive amounts of money things that we've seen in other cases and other scenarios. The ESPN story, and according to their sources, say he did bet on Indiana football when he was redshirting for the Hoosiers as a true freshman in 2022. He played a single game that season as a reserve. The bets, according to the people that ESPN is sourcing, were always just on Indiana. I say just. I shouldn't say just. We're on Indiana to win. And the story says none came in a game in which he appeared. That would be an even bigger problem, obviously. I don't know that he's going to escape this. So according to amended NCAA guidelines, this came out in 2023. Student athletes who wager on their own games or on other sports at their own schools face permanent loss of collegiate eligibility in all sports. Okay, that's pretty clear. Other potential gambling punishment guidelines include if a college football player, for example, bets on a different school in their own sport, the loss of 50% of one season of eligibility will be considered. The guidelines in 23, wagers greater than $800 could lead to 30%. Cumulative wagering that exceeded $800, there is a directive to consider whether it needs to be a loss of eligibility, including permanent ineligibility. So look, he's also facing a lawsuit from Cincinnati. I think that
is true.
Totally unrelated and probably just I don't know. I don't know what I think that's a totally separate thing that could be something to watch for, like precedent and other things, but has nothing to do with this or really his status at Tech. I don't think his status at Tech was ever really in danger here. So there's the situation, Paul. It sounds to me like Brendan Sorsby has been doing what a whole lot of 18-year-olds have been doing. We've run stories, and this is coming now as you just, get more data. The younger demographic of eligible gamblers, that 18 to 24-year-old college age kid are gambling a lot. And as 18 to 24-year-olds do a lot of vices and things that, they drink a lot of beer, they whatever it is that you sort of grow out of or grow to get a little more self-control. 18 to 24-year-olds don't really do that. I didn't drink a lot more beer back then than I do now, right? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I would have bet a whole lot more on sports than I do right now. So I think that here comes the challenge of legalized betting. And I don't just mean I guess the thing for me on this story, Paul, is it doesn't seem like in the reporting that Sorsby was doing anything sinister, which has also happened, right? I don't think he was throwing games or doing all the things that are the reasons these punishments are so severe, but the rules are pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
If you step in and you're a college athlete, you don't get to do this stuff. Mm-hmm. Clearly he has been.
Right.
So Tech's been supportive of him. Good for him, because you know what this blowback's going to be. Now, who knows if he checked himself in only because he apparently got caught or whatever, but he checked himself in and hopefully he can help. But this is the challenge. And Brendan Sorsby's not the only college athlete out there on an app betting. He's not. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, should it be a rule? And this got challenged last year, that Brendan Sorsby, who let's say he's playing quarterback at Cincinnati and wants to bet on the Duke North Carolina game, should he be allowed to do that? Let's say he wants to bet on the Chiefs Broncos game, should he be allowed to do that? That getting challenged a little bit in different areas. But right now the rules are pretty clear. You just don't get to bet. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Maybe he has a teammate on one of those pro teams, a former teammate. Do you get into only the sport you played? But wait, you were college roommates with the basketball player, and he told you, hey, man, I'm not feeling it today. I'm going to check out. And you go bet his under, the player prop thing that we got into last year. So, it's all murky. And so the simplest way to do it, Paul, is just to say, sorry, you're an athlete. You don't get to bet, period.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Right.
And I have a problem with that.
No.
But forcing that's really difficult. And here we go. And this is a monumental shift for the next college football season. Paul, I don't think he's going to play.
Oh, I don't think
see a path to him playing next season.
Right. I don't think he's going to play ever.
Well,
I
right.
think
this would be the end of his college career anyway.
Yeah, this is. And by the way, here's part of the problem. Estimations are that he signed with the Red Raiders for a little over $5 million. And he picked the Red Raiders over LSU and Miami. There's some pretty good schools that he said no to and went with Texas Tech. And I don't blame him. It's a good school, but $5 million is probably the reason he went. That was probably the highest amount he was offered. Now, with that being said, here's part of the problem too that makes it so easy for a guy like Sorsby is his telephone. My gosh, Jacob, how easy is it to place a bet nowadays? I mean, pretty easy, isn't it? You got a cell phone, And here's why he'll never get by this thing. He's not going to be exonerated. There's not going to be any little reason why he shouldn't be really punished hard, and catch everything that he's going to catch. And that is, there's a record of everything. The telephone that we all use, your telephone, my telephone. We make a phone call to mom. Guess what? That's recorded, and it's recorded forever. Doesn't go away. Everything we do, every phone call we make, every length of the phone call, the date of every phone call, it's forever. Forever. And that's part of the problem why he's not going to get out of this thing. Everything is there. All the calls he's made, all the bets that he's made.
In order to get on the apps to bet, like, they need basically a blood sample. Like, you have to, like, you got that.
Bingo. That's right.
I'm a little surprised. I don't know where these bets were being made. Maybe they were with an offshore book and not one of the, legitimate American companies that are doing this now. I'm not sure. But it is a challenge right now in society for us to help young people navigate this. Again, this challenge is not new. This challenge has existed forever. The drinking age is 21. Why is that, do you think, Paul? Doesn't make a lot of sense that it's not 18.
Part of it is maturity
It used
levels.
to be 18.
Yeah.
Why? You sure it did. You better believe it did. But why do you think it's 21 now?
Well, everybody's older now. I mean, I guess
We're
that's
just
it.
not as
But
my
the
point is, we're not as
maturity
equipped.
level, yeah.
We're not as equipped to be able to do this stuff. What is the sports betting age? What is the legal sports betting age? Is it 18 on these apps?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was 21, but that's just me.
Isn't it 18 when you go to
So
Las
it's
Vegas?
It's 21.
Yeah, I think so.
But there are states apparently in which you can bet at 18. And the gray area, one of those states, Minnesota, apparently, Montana, Nebraska. Where's Indiana? Indiana's 21, so I don't know how he did that. But he may, the thing is, a lot of these athletes are 21 years old, right? They're not 18 years old.
A lot
and
are.
I'll tell you, because I've got a bunch of nephews that love to do it. There are now fantasy football sites, which is technically not, I don't even know if that's technically 18. I mean, it is for some of them. I mean, but you can play fantasy football, but if you got on one of the fantasy sports sites that does, kind of player proppy type stuff, that's basically venturing into now just full on sports betting. And so I've got family members that are not 21 that are on their phones showing me their bets for the week. I'm like, all right. How'd you do that? And so, look, it's a challenge. It's a challenge again, though. Drinking age used to be 18. Now it's 21. Why? Because young people make lots of bad decisions. We're adults at 18, but we have laws on some of this stuff. I'm not saying change the law for gambling. What I'm saying is anybody surprised that as betting goes more legal, younger people are having a problem controlling what they're doing with it? And I don't even know that Brendan Sorsby's a good example of somebody that went off the rails from sports betting. Sounds like he was betting a couple dollars here and there, like most people. No, that's not impacting your life as much. You probably have an addiction, but you're not, throwing games or doing some of the real challenges. But the rules are the rules. I don't think he's going to play again, Paul.
Ever.
And it's too bad. The consequence of that is less likely as you get older to make a conscious decision like that could jeopardize everything.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, and even the NFL would look at Sorsby and say, with all the
probably.
Yeah, nobody who would take him. And by the way, you know what the problem is? The main problem for Sorsby was he got $5 million to go with Texas Tech. $5 million. You know something? That could burn a hole in your pocket. Say, you know something? I can place a few bets. I lose a little here, lose a little there. Big deal. I got $5 million to play with. And you would look at $5 million. Now, that's just for the one season. 1 season, $5 million. Still got a couple of seasons left. You know, he's thinking I'm gonna have double-digit millions before this is all said and done. I can gamble this money, and even if I lose, and I lose big, I'll never know the difference because I won't miss it. That's part of the
I don't
problem.
think that's why people do it.
Yeah, I don't. $5 million allows you to do it without.
But you're going to do that. You're going to do
no
that either way.
consequences.
You're going to do again. I don't think there's any reporting. I don't think there is that he was betting large amounts. So it's just the fun of the, it's the thrill of the bet basically, which is why I like it for that reason. I like to make a bet because sometimes it's fun to have skin in the game.
Yeah, but thousands of bets can mount up, can't it? I mean, thousands. Of
yes,
bets.
yes, it can.
I would
yes,
think
it
that
can.
it could mount
There's
up.
there's a difference in betting the mortgage and making too many bets. I think whatever. We're into the weeds here on this, but again, I hope that he's able to get through this. Texas Tech is taking the right approach now. I wonder what happens to that $5 million.
Yeah,
if he's granted ineligible or if he's deemed ineligible. There's a lot to peel back on this story, Paul, as far as what it means for Sorsby. What does it mean for Texas Tech? Texas Tech, I think they're looked at to win like 11.5 games. They are a college football playoff team next year, Paul. Now potentially without a quarterback.
Right.
Their backup quarterback tore his ACL. He's not even going to be ready for the start of the season.
Right. You just made a comment a second ago about you don't know where this is going to go for Sorsby. I mean, and we all hope that he gets the help he needs. But here's where it needs to go. And Jacob, I'm probably going to get phone calls. Tony's going to get some phone calls on what I'm about to say, but I don't care. But this is the way I see this, and this is the way it's got to be. He should have all of his money taken away from him as a penalty, and I hope that's in his contract to be able to do. He should have the book thrown at him. He should never step on a college campus as an athlete. And you know why I'm saying that? This has got to be an example as to why not. He gambled.
If he loses,
he gambled with my
I get it. I get it.
Sports.
You're never getting that money back from him. Now, the $5 million that Tech's paying him, that's in question. Should he ever play college football again? I don't think you have. I don't think you have a bad case there. I don't think he's going to.
Well, I want the book thrown at him because this has got to stop. You've got to understand. You bet on sports, even if it's not your sport, even if it's not your team.
Get thrown at him, Paul. Don't you think? Those are the rules. I don't see a path out for him. I think the book is going to be thrown at him. The book has been thrown at every player for this as we've done it. Doesn't mean somebody's not going to do it, but you're right.
Yes, it's 1960 Wild
somebody
White
from
Sox.
Whoa, that was a really bad decision. Yeah. So we'll come back. Let's okay. So now that we know that's out there, we live in the Big 12. Let's talk about what it means for next football season if Texas Tech loses their star transfer quarterback. On the other side of Sports Daily. Stick around.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is on KFH.
All right. Welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily. Glad to have you here with us on Sports Daily. It's all Brockton Savage. Talking about a story that honestly, Paul, just kind of sucks, doesn't it?
It does. No
just kind of sucks.
But it's an important story. It's very important. It really has to do with the integrity of the sports. I mean, it's a story that's got to be told. It's a story that's got to have consequences. It's a story everybody needs to know and understand what the consequences are of gambling. And even for those of us that aren't within the confines of organized sports, we have to understand that there are consequences in family, in finances, in the lives of those around us. And we've got to understand that. And it's all got to be done. Anything that has to do with gambling, it's all got to be done in a reasonable manner. a manner that one can afford, a manner that's appropriate for your situation. And I think we would all agree on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So so we both think Sorsby's not playing anymore. He's done.
He's never going to play again.
I think so too. That really changes the Big 12, Paul. Texas Tech doesn't have like a quarterback option right now. Will Hammond, who had to step in a lot for Bear Morton last year, he tore his ACL in October. Joey McGuire, Texas Tech's head coach, said recently he's not expected to be ready by the season opener. Best case scenario they're thinking is week 3. I don't know who their third string quarterback is. I don't know who else they have in there. But Hammond, Texas Tech was a totally different team last year when it was Hammond in there. Now what are they going to do? That's the guy that may be so here's what it's done to the odds of winning the Big 12. Tech went from a prohibitive favorite to now at even money. Still even money because they still have an insanely talented roster everywhere else, right? We know they've spent the money. They got a lot of great players there. Just look at last year's NFL draft. Look at last weekend's NFL draft. Tech players all over the board. They're doing it again this offseason.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So they're still going to be really good. But it opens the door. These are according to, I'm taking it. I think it's FanDuel. BYU at 6-1, Utah at 7.5-1. Okay. K-State now at 15-1. This, if we're Big 12 followers here, Paul, this does feel like a big opening for K-State.
Yeah.
It's Colin Klein's first year. It's Avery Johnson's senior season. We think, now that I say that, I wonder what this does for his eligibility, these changes we talked about. Does he get a 5th year? I think he might. We're going to have to get Kevin Saul will be with us, I think, next week. Tim Fitzgerald will have some insight on this Thursday for us. Avery Johnson, is this really his last year? Maybe it's not. But anyway, he's coming into a year with Colin Klein here, the guy where he thrived with. K-State has brought in a lot of players through the portal. Could this be the opening they needed to maybe have a special season in Colin Klein's first year? They don't play Tech anyway. So, can they make a run at this thing? I think if you're any team in the Big 12 right now, you feel like, hey, the door just got kicked open in a big way. Sorsby was the top number 1 or number 2 overall prospect in the transfer portal. Tech had him. Now they just don't have him. They don't have a quarterback.
Boy, I'll tell you what, rags to riches, it seems like. And that's a really good point. You think, well, who's on the roster if you're going to be, but here's the thing that we don't know. They've got a lot of money. They've got some boosters that aren't afraid to kick this.
But where are you going to go find a quarterback now?
Well, maybe that quarterback finds Tech. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. But with all the money that's available at Texas Tech, anybody that's doing this with money as a major consideration, they may just go find Tech themselves. I don't know how this is going to happen, but where there's a will, there's a way. And as we know, in most things, anything almost goes anymore. It seems like with regards to college football and people transferring and going wherever they want, everybody's afraid of lawsuits. And so where do they go? I don't know. But something tells me something will happen, Jacob. It just seems that way to me, but I don't know what it'll be.
I don't either. But I don't know what, Paul, I don't think they can just go get somebody. What are you going to do? Is there anybody left in the portal? I don't think there is.
Is there anybody that can anybody still make a move without the portal?
I don't think so. Think so.
Okay.
I mean,
everything's done with the portal, and I'm just not sure on that rule. We don't hear anything much about that, do we? So that's a good question.
Because this doesn't come up, right? Like this isn't a normal thing. But yeah, no, I think the portal's crazy, but it's crazy during the portal. Now,
it's organized. Yeah, that's right. It's crazy.
Right. I don't know what Tech thinks they can do here. I mean, I'm sure they're going to furiously do everything they can to try to have Sorsby be able to play games this year. But I just don't think that's
come on. Yeah, well, I'm not even listen, I don't know that Texas Tech could take the hit by
Oh, yes, they
being
could.
an
Oh, yes,
advocate.
they don't care.
I
Yes, they
oh,
could. Yes, they could. They do not care. They
you
do.
don't
You
think a
think you
the
don't think they're
president
selling
of
out the stadium if they figure out a way for it to have Brendan Sorsby play?
I
Hey,
don't
Paul, they don't care. What do they care?
there is still such a thing as integrity. Come on, isn't there? Isn't there? I think there's still a thing called integrity. We don't see it as much as we used to it as it appears in college football. But come on. I mean, that's a hit to a college. I mean, that's a hit to an athletic
What would be
department.
the hit? What's the hit? Tell me what the
The
hit is.
hit, the hit is that just because you want to win, you're willing to take someone who has unabashedly said, screw the system. I'll do what I want to do. I'll ruin the name of college football. I'll tarnish the name of Texas Tech. I don't care what you say. And we're going to bring this guy back. You think that's you?
Well, I just need you to tell me how it
tarnishes.
How does it tarnish the name Texas Tech?
Because he was at Texas Tech.
What if
Texas
they? What
Tech
if it, Paul?
did not police their program well enough to know that their best player on the team, the most important player on the team, maybe the best paid player on the team, was doing these things that are deemed to be harmful to Texas Tech University. I think that's huge. I'm sorry, Jacob, but I think that's huge. I think that's big.
What do you think? What do you think? The reputation, what kind of hit on the reputation of USC did Reggie Bush give them?
At the time, it was fairly significant.
You think it was?
I never.
What do you remember about? What do you remember about it?
What I remember about it, if you want to be real truthful, what I remember about it is I remember thinking to myself, I really don't blame Reggie Bush for trying to take care of his family.
Yeah.
That's sort of the thing.
But he broke a rule. You just said. I mean, he broke a rule.
But it wasn't for him, was it?
It was a rule.
It was a rule, but that rule was applying to his family.
You know what I think of when I think of Reggie Bush?
Playing
Vince Young in the national championship game, winning the Heisman Trophy. If I'm telling you right now, Texas Tech has a room full of people trying to figure out damage control and how can we figure out a way to get Sorsby to play this year.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I'm not.
What do you think in January? Do you think if Texas Tech's playing for a national championship and Sorsby's their quarterback, they're particularly concerned about the fact that he got caught for something he did while he was somewhere else?
That is, Jacob, that is a long friggin' way away.
Do you think they'll care? Do you think KU fans care right now that they had to take some official wins away because of Billy Preston and Silvio De Sousa? You think KU cares?
Well, probably.
You think KU fans care?
All right. I get you. I get that point, but this is not that.
It is absolutely that. He broke a rule, and the only thing that matters in college sports at that level is winning. Now, what do you take greater offense at? You know, there are things that are morally objectable, violent crimes and things that happen that players are forgiven for all the time. Brendan Sorsby is being accused of betting small amounts of money over the years on sports he wasn't supposed to.
But the point is,
nobody, if I'm telling you, Paul, they're in a room right now in Lubbock, Texas, as they're trying to figure out, boy, how can we get him back on the field? Nobody's concerned with our reputation's going to take a black eye if we do this. Nobody cares. They're not, that's not even, that is so far off their radar. Right now, if they really wanted to set a moral standard, they wouldn't say we're fully supporting him and everything that he does. They'd say you're off the team.
Well,
that's not what they're saying.
Well, I get your point, and it's well taken. And yet somehow I still think we're not above, doing the right thing in certain places, sending the right message in certain places. We are at Texas Tech, an institution of higher learning with ethics and those kind of things. I'm just thinking to myself, what kind of message do we send if we fight for this guy?
That they want to win football games.
If they want to win football games. And I still have more confidence.
What message do the Kansas City Chiefs send by drafting Tyreek Hill or not having a team, imposed punishment to Rashee Rice?
But that's pro football. See, there's a difference between pro foot. We all know this is about money in pro football. Well, that's still not the ideal for college sports. College sports is still about education, kids learning, kids growing up, kids learning the responsibilities of life, the lessons that sports teach. Those things are still in play, Jacob. At least
Welcome
for me.
to Paul Savage's fantasy land here on Sports Daily.
Paul Savage, I like it. And I'm going to
look. That stuff matters. I'm not downplaying that. I'm really not. I'm not trying to. What I'm trying to do is give my best estimation of what's happening in Lubbock right now, and my best estimation is they are doing every single thing that they can to try to get him to play this year.
Well, I'd love to find out. How can we find out? Do we have a listener that has?
Well, we're going to find out because we're going to see how this plays out. Does Tech challenge the NCAA on it? Do they just roll over and say, "Sorry, he's done for the year. We're moving on"? Like, we'll find out.
If they challenge, I'm mad. I'm done with Texas Tech. I've always liked Texas Tech because they've always been a part of the original South. I love the Southwest Conference. I'm always for the old.
Paul, how long did it take your Baylor Bears to do something with Art Briles?
Well, I don't know, 4 or 5 criminal players, and we were pretty good.
Yeah, you think it was maybe a little after the fact, after it got caught? You think anybody in Waco knew that maybe there was some troubles going on down there?
When I found out, I was pissed. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, everyone, Paul, everyone was pissed in his situation.
Yeah,
everyone was.
He had to go.
Brendan Sorsby's like to that's naive of me to even bring it up with, with what Sorsby's being accused of being an 18 to 22-year-old.
I wanted people to go to jail
a little bit on a baseball game and stuff.
Right. I wanted him to go to jail on that Baylor deal because that was a
Briles to go to jail.
I would have been okay with me because if he knew and there were things that being said about that, he was a bad man. If he knew and he allowed it, he's a bad man, Jacob.
Well, I'm telling you right now in Lubbock, they're trying to figure out a way to get Brendan Sorsby to play football. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think he's going to be able to. This is one of those things that there just usually is zero wiggle room on. Just absolute too much on the line, zero wiggle room. Like I cannot imagine he plays for them next year. And now the door is wide open if he doesn't in the Big 12.
What would the NCAA be able to do to it? I mean, let's say they say
ban him, punish him under the rules that are already in place.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking that if they do find a way for him to come back, would the NCAA have something that they could base
the challenge will be to the NCAA, and the NCAA still is a rules enforcement body.
All right.
Right. That is, it's not like, work issues or anything like that. These are the rules that you abide by if you're going to play NCAA sports. If you break them, you can't play NCAA sports. Nobody's saying you can't play football anymore. They're saying you can't play NCAA football anymore. You can go, play junior college football, maybe whatever. But like the NCAA still does have that small sliver of power. And this is one that usually doesn't get budged on, whether it's pro sports, college sports, whatever. When it comes to betting, they don't mess around. I don't think he's going to play. I'm with you. But what I do want to see what Tech tries to come up with here. All right, we'll come back. We got a little more Sports Daily for you on a Tuesday. Don't go away.